Yo, yo. Hey, welcome back. If you are back, or welcome to new people. This is going to be something new for me. Now on YouTube, I've decided that just don't need Twitch anymore. I've got my YouTube channel that I'm building. So I thought it's time to come back and get live on YouTube. So obviously to drum up some more views for my other videos as well. But I'm currently at my work setup, which is a bit smaller. I've got stereo set up here, stereo speakers, and I'm currently building a studio. We're going 5.1. I've got a 100-inch projector screen, and the studio is going to be in my backyard. So what that means for you guys is I can ramp up the content. I'm going to have a permanent setup, and I'm going to be able to live stream a bit more often. But this is exciting. I hope there's people watching. If there is, write in the chat. I have no idea because I haven't really set all this up properly. I've honestly slapped it together and I'm already working almost 40 minutes late just because I've been spending time pulling assets and getting OBS working again. So if you're out there, give me a hoy in the chat. Let me know if it sounds and looks all right. But yeah, I'm really excited to be here live streaming again. So I haven't set up anything properly, buttons and whatever, and you'll even see some of my assets, my intro and all that kind of stuff says Twitch on it because, to be honest, I'm waiting to get in the new studio before I get all that set up. But yeah, I thought it was time to get streaming again, and I've got a great short documentary that's I'm really excited about working on. I've watched it already, and it's a phenomenal piece. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. Now I'm going to take you through the whole process. So I've literally all I've got here. So let me show you what I got here. So all I've got is a blank canvas, and I'm even going to set up everything from scratch for you, just so you can see how I set up my template. Although it's going to slow me down on this project at the start, I feel like, these are the kind of things that you guys love to see and love to get information about. So I'm going to import the AAF, import a video, and then I'm going to do some track layouts, and I'll do that reasonably quick. But I'm going to, chuck some plugins and get it all going and maybe set up some buses and things. So you will see how I work. Now, normally I would just load up a template. And so, things in Pro Tools might be a bit of a mess, but, follow along. And if you're here watching, let me know if you've got any questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. So let's just dive straight in because I just need to get working on it. So we're going to go and we are going to import our AF. So we're going to go through to session data, and I will go into, where's the project, noisy post. No, it wasn't there, sorry. We're going to go into audio post, now Arthur. So I chucked the AAF file in there, so we're going to import that. Here it's got all our tracks here. Now, because it's all contained in the AAF, all the audio is, we don't have to do anything too full on, fortunately, but we're just going to import this. We don't have to click anything else, so all the tracks will import. They've clearly not been named, or the AAF isn't picking up the names, but I assume that the editor did not name the files. And then we're going to go file and we're going to import the video, and I've chucked the video in the video folder. So we'll go to Martha again, and the video folder is there. Let's hope it all loads up because I didn't check that beforehand. One thing I would suggest you do is go import audio from file. And so what this will do is import obviously the video audio and chuck it in your audios folder. It just helps because then you've got a reference. So you'll have basically what the editor, oh, that's annoying. The chat, when I click off, annoying. Sorry, I've got OBS chat up and I'm going to, give me 1 second. I'm going to load up YouTube and bring up the chat there, because when I click out of OBS, the chat disappears, and that is helpful. Second. Mute the tab, that's all right. Sorry guys. Might hear me playing back for a second, but I will audio. Pull out chat. There we go. All right, so now if you write something, it should be frustrating. Thanks, OBS. Okay, so we've got our video in here as well. Video's there. We're at 25 frames, which is common for Australia. And here's our audio track. Now we will need to set up some buses and such. So my standard is we're going to add new track. We're going to go stereo, which you can go if you hold, I should have put keyboard commands. If you hold control, you can press left, right, up and down. That will change what type of track it is. And then you can go left, right, goes mono stereo. So we want audio buses, and we're going to go, we want a DX bus, and we want a effects bus. We want a MX bus, which MX is just music. And then we want a stereo. So I've got to make sure that's auxiliary, and this will be a master. Oh, that changed it. So MX bus. All right. And so these three are going to feed into the master. Now, the reason why I do this is so when I export it out, so they all go to that. This needs to go to the output. See if we can hear stuff. We can. Hey, Sam. Welcome. Where are you from, Sam? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Thanks for joining us. Have you seen the stream before? Did you ever watch us or watch me on Twitch? All right, so we have the only issue what I've done here, so I didn't think about this, but what this editor normally does, and which really is the right thing to do, is they've put the film at 1 hour. So what that means is, oh, I got to move this one as well, 1 hour. So I'm just doing, if you didn't notice, I've gone a spot here, and it means you can actually type in the time. So by doing that, normally particularly with a feature film, it's really important that you have your 2 pop at the start. So this means you can have a kind of pre-roll and a post-roll and all that sort of stuff. So now they'll be in sync, and we have all the dialogue is on, looks like on 2 channels, and then the rest is mostly music, and I think there's a bunch of sound effects as well. Thanks for joining me, Sam. Let me know if anything sounds wrong or got any issues watching back. So I'm going to, unfortunately at the moment, I don't have a second screen So what I'll have in the new studio is a 100-inch projector screen, and I'll actually split up the OBS so you'll have that sort of separate to the main window, but I'll probably just move that around depending on what I'm doing at the moment. So let's just go through. We're going to go through each thing and organize our tracks. So rather than just making new tracks of audio, which, no, look, forget that because it's a good practice. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, all right, let's take a guess that we've got 8 dialogue channels. So we're just going to go DX and we're going to go, they'll be mono. Then we're going to go effects. We're going to have, maybe let's go 4, we'll go 4 mono. And then we're going to go 4 stereo tracks. So this is going to be where I add, what I'll do is I'll put a little S, a little M, so we know that there's mono and stereo. I'm going to put a space bar after it, because I'm hoping that Pro Tools will know that there's a space there, and then when it adds the numbers, so it's going to number all 4 tracks that it will have a space between them, but it's not that important. So we've got MX as well, so we're going to have, let's just guess there's probably going to be some overlays, but we'll start with 4 because why not? So this is a slow process if you do it this way every time. So I'd suggest once you've set up your template, you save it. I'm only doing this because it's been a while since I've streamed it, and I thought, why not give you the full hog? Davis, how are you, mate? It's been so long. Hope you're well. Sam, you're Byron Bay, nice. I haven't, but I've loved finding a YouTube channel and a couple of months ago. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate that. So what I'm going to do is I always make my dialogue generally like a bright red or something, because to me it's like recorded, I don't know, singing, record button, I don't know. Effects can be earthy, so they can be a green color. And music is not. So let's go purple. Let's go bright color. DX, I like to make it none, so they're black. Okay, so now what I'll do is these are going to be patched through. So we're going to select all our dialogue channels. And what you do is if you hit Shift and Alt or Option, you can, what we can do is this is all a mess because I've been working on multiple projects. But what I'm going to do is we've got LORO, which is stereo, but it's, there's LTRT, which is an old format which kind of blended the surrounds using phase stuff. I'm not going to go into detail because it's so old school these days. Just mix in stereo, mix in 5.1. But LORO is basically, there's no surround information in that. So if you hold Shift and Alt, then that now has made them all LORO DX. I probably should have just called it 2.0 or something. So we've got that, we've got FX. We're going to go LORO MX, and then we need to make sure that we input these. So this will be same deal, DX. Now the other trick as well, if you hold Shift Alt, and I think Command or whatever the other one is, if you press on the DX, what it does is it tapers them off. So if you had multiple inputs, does it automatically. So what's in the next series of buses? So the DX, FX, and MX, because they're in order, it just scatters them. And so they'll obviously, anything now in those channels will send to the bus to the master. One other thing we need to do is solo safe these buses. So by hitting not Command, not Alt, sorry, not Control, by hitting Command and then pressing the S, they're solo safe. So now if I solo a dialogue channel, that will still play through to the master. All right, so the reason why I do it like that and set up my own channels is now I can obviously go through all the dialogue, find who's who, put them in their own channels. But then what I also do after that is I will select these and I will hide and make inactive. And so what that means is those tracks are always there. So if I over process something, put too much noise reduction on it, I've got the original audio and I can go back and get that. So left only, right only. Thanks, mate. I couldn't remember. It's been so long since I even set that up. So that's what, thanks, Sam. That's what LORO stands for. Cool. So I'm just going to go through. We're going to just solo this. It's going to be a long, boring process, but we're going to go through and hopefully the audio files, nope, they're not. I was hoping that the audio files might be labeled, but they're not. They've just got Zoom. So I'm going to solo both these two channels. So they're the two dialogue channels, and I'm just going to quickly go through just the dialogue, move them down. Normally what I would also have set up is but this is not my normal studio setup, is I sometimes use a Stream Deck and I'll pre-program for it. Once I've selected, say I select this audio and I want it to go to DX1, press the button, it'll copy, go down to DX1, paste, and then move the cursor back to the top. So I can literally just click the audio, listen to who it is, press the button, it'll drop it down, bring it back up, because otherwise the process is kind of slow. So let's listen to this, see who it is.
Damn shame what happened to this.
While we're at it, we might clip gain it up as well.
Just look at it. Damn shame.
There's some old dude with a hat. Let's just give him number 1. So what I'm going to do is select the audio. We can just press, so if you do, is it P and the semicolon, you can go down and we can just paste that if we want. Now, one thing I will do as well, so if we go back to color palette, what you can do, man, it's been so long. Honestly, I've been using Fairlight a lot lately, and I genuinely haven't used this stuff in ages. So track saturation, we want to go up a little bit. Let's brighten it up a tad, but why is that coloring it? Is it because I went too dark? Oh, there we go. So let's brighten that up a little bit. Now we can see the colors there. The only other thing that I want to do is if we go into preferences, we can go track color. It is track type. Oh, clip color, track color. Okay. I thought it colored this bit, but I can't even remember. It's been so friggin' long. Right, so we're just going to copy that. We're going to paste that down there. At least it's red. We know we're in the right ballpark.
Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here, but nobody's going
Old lady in a beanie.
We don't want to be lumped in the same basket.
What you can also do, we could open up comments. We can go at guy, beanie lady. Probably can't really see that.
Rumours, they can kill you. You know, it spreads.
Sorry about that little blast there. So we're going to chuck. So we copy that there. As I said, slow process. We've got a car sound effect. So what we'll do is we'll just chuck that down. So you can just click down the side here. Oh no, I won't do it, will it? I've got a cursor. There's a button. I think it's that one. Yeah, so if you press this button here, I can't link track to edit selection. So it means now if I go, all right, I copy that. If I click on the effects channel down here, you can paste it there.
You've got a population.
Sorry, I keep
of about
unsoloing
60 people here that sort of live thereabouts, but you know, we all know.
So the more of the lady with a beanie, some pretty full-on noise.
Martha, yeah, she's a strange one. That one, known her since she was a kid. I was a few years ahead of her at school, and she was never very much, and you know what they say, not much of a.
Let me know if you got any questions, or
that's why I think that, you know.
if I'm boring you already, let me know.
And she was just so convincing that
it's good to be organised.
I had a good and bad life.
So Chrissy, there we go. We got a name. I should probably check.
It was hard. It was very hard for me because
For me, I don't know their names. I won't remember. We'll call her T Lady.
And I didn't see them for 7 years.
Keep skipping through. To be honest, I shouldn't be going clip by clip, copying them. You play it through and find where it changes because that's quicker. Don't know why I didn't do that.
And
how does it sound, guys? Is everything sounding all right?
She say all this. Martha is a big problem
So you probably can't. Let me just quickly. I'm going to add got a few plugins. I'm going to just add a hard limiter to this just so you can get a bit more volume out of it. Let's go. What I'll do is, because this, I'm assuming this will go out on web, so I'm going -3 dB, just give it extra headroom. I'm going to boost it maybe about, I don't know, let's go 8 dB so that you'll get a bit more juice out of the dialogue.
Martha is a big problem
There
in
you go.
this town.
All right, so that's all the tea lady. What do we got here?
Like she came from a normal family. I mean, the old man was a pisshead, even before it all happened.
Sorry, if I'm squinting, it's because I got a light blasting me in the eyes.
Who knows what was happening in there?
See what this is.
And who
There's a bit of ambience. Sorry, a bit of sound effects.
after
Same guy.
and others.
Same guy.
But if you look right back,
They found him down the long paddock, actually. He'd sort of had a night on the booze.
Call him a tradie because he sounds
-3
Aussie
degrees,
as.
and,
Tradie.
He was.
Back to the beanie lady, I think.
They found him statue on the ground. It was pretty horrific, actually. Ah, gosh. You know, sometimes
Same
I always think that this
beanie lady.
person you go out. Martha was just so convincing.
Let me know if this is super boring. Here we go. You're so damn knowledgeable. I don't need to ask any questions. Oh, thanks, Sam. Sounds good. Yeah, it's more intelligible now. Okay, great. Let me know if you want me to boost it even more. I can. The only problem is if I unsolo, then the music might be cranking. So
The way she described it was like a big cigar shape with all these
There we go.
lights around it. As I said, some people believe I'm one of them, but not everybody.
some of this is going to be a pain to clean, but
after the allegations were made and it was public in the town, you sort of thought
Brady guy,
it would disappear because
Brendan.
none of me and my mates or my family thought there was anything in it. But then there started people reports
Brendan.
coming down from you know.
We'll still call him
sort of
tradie
like,
guy because then I know.
What are you doing here? You know, if
And in all your time, have you ever seen anything?
What I would like, and I probably should have been clearer to the editor, but I prefer everything on their own channels, as in each person, but it's a bit harder for them when they're editing. I don't think they like to have too many audio tracks, so you just get what you get, and you don't get upset.
And in all your time, have you ever seen anything that would make you think there's aliens here?
So let's go interviewer. We'll just go
I never,
last track.
And I never think of aliens, and I think it's only on movies. That's all. People.
Tea lady.
Now, it's very hard to believe a story about little green men, Martians, whatever. The aliens that have a bit of...
Hat guy. More sound effects. Now I'm going to chuck all these sound effects just on channel 1 because then I know what's theirs and what's mine. So we're going to put the hat guy down.
Creativity.
Okay, so now
over the years.
this is actually, so just quick rundown. It's a story about Martha. I think they called her Mad Martha, and she was abducted by aliens, and then she actually went missing, which is kind of cool. It's not cool. It's terrible. Sorry, that's a terrible thing to say, and I'm live, so I can't fix that. It's terrible she went missing, but kind of just very strange that she had all these supposedly alien encounters, and then she went missing. So hopefully she is alive somewhere and drinking a pina colada on a beach or something. So this is actually a recording of her when she was younger. So I'll make it sound all crusty and like it's through a tape.
To visualize my
So
right,
I think all the rest of it's her.
but in a way, and having fun, and I just couldn't connect anymore.
Now what I'll do is I'm going to solo my channel. I'm just going to
More
give it a
positive light,
bit of a boost.
like a fairy tale. That way, I choose how to paint myself. I get
Cool. All right, so that's those 2 channels of audio. We can just go hide and make inactive. What I might do, so all this audio, it's music and stuff. I know it's going to be too loud, particularly because it's probably like most of it's underscore stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm holding Control Shift and I'm using my scroll wheel. Weaver, what's up, mate? Good to have you back. Good to be back. I actually have thoroughly missed this. I will, as I said, I'm going to ramp things up. I just need to get my studio sorted. Good to see you, mate. Aliens are real, he says. You heard it from David Weaver, one of the smartest guys I know. So it's probably true. So what I'm going to do is drop all this stuff. I've just scrolled it down to minus 12 dB. I'm not going to just chuck all this into the music tracks because I'm assuming some of this is sound effects as well. So we may have some stereo sound effects. Yep. So some of this stuff we'll probably replace, but let's keep theirs in for now. That score, underneath it will be score as well. So I'm going to put that on channel 2. I'm going to put this one on channel on MX1. Now I'm assuming, yeah, so that's some sort of cool ending thing to that track. You know what? I'm going to move this one because that's a second track. I'm going to move that down there. Going to move that audio track there. Can you see all right what I'm doing? I've got to make sure I keep it on the left side of the screen too because you're going to get my face in the way. So good to see you streaming again. Thanks, mate. Yep, it's great. It's good to be back. All right. Another track. 4 channels might not be enough. And we got some sound effect here, so we're going to put that back on the channel 1, but the stereo one. Got more bird sounds and things, so I'll put that on effects 2. Don't know what this little one is. Could be a... Oh, nice. So again, we'll probably replace some of those sounds, or we'll pad it out. I reckon we'll just add some more ambiences and such to make it exciting. So we got all that. I'm going to keep these, whatever these stings are, I'll keep them on channel 2 so they're consistent. Another score track. This will be more ambience. So we're powering through it. Again, sorry, this is not the most exciting stuff. Another track. I'm going to put this on MX3, so I'm going to just keep 2 for those stings, just so I know where they are. More birdies. Let me know if you got any questions, but I'm just going to keep powering through. What nice wind. More wind. That looks like another sting to me, so we're going to put that down here. Next track. I feel like I should have put the stings at the top or something. Eerie tone. Ooh. Oh. That's cool. It's kind of sound designy, so we'll chuck that in this effects. Oh. That's a cool track. All right. So far, everything's pretty organized well. The tracks are all stereo. I recently did a job and the half the audio tracks were in mono, but like they were stereo files, but it was mono. I'm assuming they put effects on them or something and it screwed it all up. The composer, there is not a composer. So just give me 1 second. They've used a whole bunch of library tracks So it's a combination of Artlist and a few other things that they've gathered. So the director of photography is Carl Allison. Now, Carl, I've worked with him on multiple projects. He's actually the DOP that does Tones and I think it's his project, so I'm assuming he DOP'd it. I guess he has because it's beautifully shot and he's an absolute gun at what he does. So, so he's the director of photography for Tones and Eyes video clips. So he works a lot with Visible Studios, who I also do a lot of work with. About to do another feature film with them, which I assume he was a DOP for as well. But yeah, so the story is really cool. It's and it's beautifully shot. And he's actually, the way he's captured it and stuff is really beautiful and dramatic. And the music choice and stuff is so good. It really works with it. So that's our tape recorder going. I think some of these sounds may be off YouTube, so we're going to replace as much as possible. There's more tape recorder. Some wind. You know what? I'm going to quickly move this tape recorder down. Let's go to whatever. Let's move it down to 2. Keep the ambience in 1 because that's what we've been doing so far. That's gross. I just burped in the mic. Hopefully you can't smell it. Hey man, composers are people too. Well, yes, but there's not a composer for this project, so shut your face. Good to have you back, mate. Yeah, no, Carl is a absolute gun at what he does.
My breath.
I know that's a stereo sound, but I'm going to paste it in a mono track. Oh, actually, no, I won't. Because we might even add some reverb or something to it, make it all
Meters.
eerie. I don't know what... I assume this is meant to be the spaceship sort of sounds. Horror sting. Let's put the horror sting in M2. Another horror tension moment. Eerie tone. Put that in 2. I'm not going to be that well organized, I think, but that's all right. We'll work it out. I've already got that. I shouldn't just talk for the sake of talking, should I? Should wait until I have something cool to say. There's some cool, weird knocking sounds. Ooh, aliens. That's cool. So that's her on the spaceship, if you haven't gathered already. So that's her walking on the grass. More cold wind. You know what? I'm going to put this ominous sound down. I want to keep it semi-organized. I'll probably, as I said, replace a lot of this, but anyway.
Glad it was.
Sound effects. People having a good time. Cool. There's lots of great sounds in here, so as I said, we'll add to it, we'll pad it out, make it sound big. Maybe not even, big's maybe not the right word. We'll make it sound full, but we want it to be realistic, right? More footsteps into a score. I like that reoccurring sound. I don't know where they got it, but it's friggin' sick. So with a lot of these like breathing sound effects and stuff, I would normally put that just in mono, particularly if I was working in 5.1, because you want that to come out the center channel. Although there's dialogue through it as well. So, dialogue should be king and coming through that center channel. So maybe you would slightly pan it off center or something. But I might add some reverb to it and give it some space, make it a bit more eerie. And then you've got the dialogue sitting in the middle. But this whole production, I think, is going to be just web. It is going to a festival. And so he's only said stereo, but I possibly will go 5.1. But I need to get it by Friday, and I don't have my 5.1 set up anyway. So it's probably better to just get it done well in stereo. Sorry, just reading the chat. Is there a specific course for detailed audio post-production? There isn't that I know of, but I'm going to be making one. So a big part of when I build my new studio, which I'm going to keep talking about because I'm excited about it, but next couple of weeks I'll be moved in and I'll have 5.1 space, 100-inch projector screen. It's going to be awesome, and I'm actually going to start creating a course. But I've got a bunch of material already online, but I will be building some courses, and I'm possibly partnering with another company overseas to do some courses for them as well, which I'll promote and tell you about. Is that a Dorothy Dixer question? Oh, that's my wife. Hello. I don't know who Dorothy Dixer is. Sorry, my love. Is there a noisy post-production course? Is there a noisy post-production course? As I said, not yet, but it'll come. So if you go to noisypost.com.au, I'm still fixing up the website a bit, and I'm going to put some of the old YouTube videos and build courses just out of those quickly because they're free and easy. Just helps people keep organized on what clips to watch. So there is a few series a couple of years ago or last year where I went through a couple of projects. So one was a short film, another was a web pilot, like a web series pilot. Someone made some really great productions, and I go through maybe 8 sessions on some of those. So you'll get probably 15 hours of content of me basically doing the same thing, working through the projects from start to finish. So Harsh, you should check that out. But I will definitely be building some courses over time. But for now, I'm here live and I've got videos up, so subscribe. But sorry, as I was saying, go to noisypost.com.au and you can sign up there. There's not going to be anything to sign up to in particular, but you'll get notified. It'll obviously give me an email, so I'll be able to blast out when I start putting up some courses. But definitely go through, watch my YouTube videos. There's so much content on there. So we got another weird sound. I'm assuming that's kind of the tape sound. And that could be it. That is. All right. Looks like we've got everything. Just going to quickly scan over it to make sure. Yeah, we definitely did. All right. So we're going to keep it muted, but we're going to keep his edit mix here so we can see that. But now the next job for me is clean the dialogue. So we want the dialogue to be as we can. And I'm going to use the new clarity and the combination of that, and I will use isotope as well. So one thing that I didn't set up, and you should, and always have it in your template, is monitor. So you just set up an auxiliary and you want to solo safe said auxiliary, and you're going to insert the plugin. Where are we? Let's go to isotope, and we want RX monitor. You'll also, so I solo safed that as well. So you want to hold, what did I say? Not option, command. So you solo safe that, and you can hide it. You don't need to ever touch it again. So it means if we ever send anything to isotope, then we listen back through our master chain and stuff. It's just better than having it. I guess you could just select the audio interface, but it just means it's playing through your bus as well. Sorry, let me go back through the chat. Where is the studio? Home. Yes, so I'm building a studio. It's about a 15 square meter studio in the backyard / my wife's office. I'm calling it Sarah's man cave. It's a politics joke. Okay, sorry, my love. Yeah, so it's going to be in the back, which means I can, at night time, if I've got projects outside of other work, I can stream. I'll have it all set up, so I basically just press record and I'm ready to go. That'll also help with building courses and such. So I'm really pumped about it. So I've posted if you follow me on Instagram, I have posted a post of the guys working on it, but I will be doing some video content on the studio as well. How do you build your profile as an audio post producer? Unfortunately, work for free at the start. So I did a short film and a feature film. I did a feature film while I had a full-time job for free. That was a hard slog, 3 months or something of full-on work. But honestly, you do a few jobs for a few great people, although you can get burned as well on the way. Some guys will say, do my short film, and then, I'll get you on the next one when it's paid or whatever. Never works out. Don't do things just for exposure, except if you're just starting out. So at some point, you do build up your clientele. But if you do good work, that's the key. Do good work, people come back. I've now done about 7 feature films, handful of probably a dozen or more short films. And I love working in the live production space as well. So not live as in live sound, but doing live concerts and live theatre. It's one of my favorite things to do actually, is live music, live concerts and stuff. So fortunately, I do some work for the Arts Centre Melbourne here, and so I get to mix productions for them. So I did a couple of live theatre shows for Melbourne Theatre Company, and I get to do some pretty decent size concerts and stuff. But like Instagram's amazing. If you're good at what you do, make little clips on Instagram of you doing stuff to show off what your capabilities are. I don't know, like I haven't got a lot of work just from social media, but it's important to have a bit of a presence. But one thing to do, if you need to just have some samples to show people, get a scene, preferably don't rip something off. Maybe find someone who will let you grab their short film or whatever and just fill it full of sounds and show off what you're capable of doing. So at least if someone asks, if you've not done anything before, haven't got short films, at least you've got something to show for it. That's right, Sarah's studio. I have a generous 1.2 square meters of space on the side wall. Yes, that you do. She's not allowed in the house. The garden is her office. Well, she works currently in the house, but when the children are home, I got 2 young children, it's the worst for her. So they interrupt her every minute of the day. So she'll be able to go to work and get away from the kids. So much room for activities. Yeah. All right, let's get to it. So we might stick with doing each person's audio for each channel. So like we'll start with this guy's and then we'll move on to the next. So the other thing what we could do, so for now, let's mute these because we don't need them. So again, if you hold Shift and Alt, it will do to all you've selected. In fact, let's just undo that. Let's just go hide and make inactive. We don't need it. In fact, we don't really need the buses either, but just gives us a bit more breathing room. So what we want to do, in fact, I am going to hide those as well. Don't make them inactive because then you won't hear anything, but you want to hide those channels. What I can do as well is I tend to use the EQ in this for particular clips. If you need to match clips, I like using clip effects as well. But we're just going to go through, we'll do some crossfades and things, and we will, I'm going to go that hard. We're going to do some crossfades, which we could automate it. Like it wouldn't actually hurt if you want to. We could select the whole lot. So if you want to select all the audio, if we go, Command F, what we could do is even just as a start, so I like equal power all the time because if you don't go equal power, the audio kind of drops out before. It's particularly good for music. If you go equal power for music, you won't hear a noticeable dip in that section. But what you would do is, I'd say maybe nice and short, 60 milliseconds. The outside's 120, can be a bit wider, but we can adjust those to suit. So we'll just do that as a starting point. It's probably, in fact, no, yeah, let's go again. Let's go these at maybe 200 or something. It's not really going to add that much, but all right, go again. I like the S curve at the end just because of the way it rolls off, but look, so we're going to probably redo half of those anyway.
It's a damn shame.
So what we want to do is make sure we got a fair amount of audio level here. That dipped down in audio. Can you hear it?
Damn shame what happened to this.
Might boost this up another 12 dB. So that's just our hard limiter. I'm just pushing into a hard limiter so you guys can hear it a bit better. And so I can hear it a bit better, to be honest.
It's a damn shame what happened to this fucking town.
So we'll boost it up,
Just
get a bit more juice out of it.
Damn shame.
So we'll put a fade on that, and then I'm pressing question mark, and that just nudges it. So you got M goes that way. Well, what we do up here, so our nudge value is set to 1/4 of a frame. So I normally have it at 1 frame. Oh, and one other thing to note, which I should have said earlier, is I always have, so with music you'd have bars and beats, but I've got minutes and I've got time code, and I've set my grid to time code. So now if I do anything like chuck in a sound effect or whatever, sorry, that should be on grid 2. So now if I, like, let's just say I get a sound effect from a library, I've just copied and pasted this. If I move, I can move to a frame, or wherever I click, I'll be literally on a frame. So if I want the sound to be frame accurate, it'll be right there, ready to go. So, sorry, let me just read this for a little bit. It sounds exciting. Oh, Red Spark, welcome. What are you doing for acoustics? Are you saying in my new studio? I will be building some panels, so I'll do some big corner bass traps, a fair amount of panels around. My wife is going to pick the color to go. I'm trying to make everything light. My last studio was literally all black. If you go to my website, noisypost.com.au, you'll see some photos. It was all blacked out and dark. I loved it that way. It's great for watching the film and all that sort of stuff while you're working, but it needs to be light and feel not like death for my wife. So I'm going to be going with all lighter colors, which is going to be interesting, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see what we can create, but I'll just be putting a bunch of panels, obviously roof on the sides, but I'm also going, and I'm hoping they're going to give me a copy so I can make a video of it, but I'm looking at Dirac for room correction, because my plan is to have the 100-inch screen with the speakers behind the screen, obviously to make it look neater as well for my wife. And so I will need some correction for that. I have some really great PMC speakers. They're not just great, they're friggin' amazing, but I will need some room correction to kind of just rein it in a little bit. That's cool. Side note, the IG link isn't working for me. It says there are 3 people waiting there, but I couldn't watch it from there. Oh, okay. Are you saying the link on my IG? Well, log in and fix it, my love. Nah, I don't know. I don't know why it's not working. That's not important right now. I'm working. So, all right. So we got good gain out of this now.
Shame what happened to this fucking town.
Now, what we could do is we could just use Audio Suite. Now, the one thing about Waves, so Waves Clarity, sorry, Waves has given me all their plugins, so that's exciting. So we're going to go Pro Mono. One thing with Waves is it's really CPU heavy, which is kind of annoying. You can only really have 1 or 2 tracks of this. So what I will do is just maybe print it. Another thing that I like to do actually, and I'm going to do it first, shouldn't have closed that down, but anyway, is I will Alt Shift, and I'm going to go New. Oh, wait a minute. Alt Shift, and I'm going to go Duplicate. So what that does now is I've got the original audio in the right channel and I can quickly go back to the other playlist and copy it if I want. I know I've already done that by leaving the audio in the drop tracks, but this way it's like right there and I can bring that audio back. So it means whatever I imprint on this, I've got the original underneath it. Just a little trick there. So you'll see the other audios here. All right. And I now need to reopen my audio suite. This is me working super fast. There we go.
It's a damn shame what happened to the fucking town. Really. Just look at it.
Might need to turn it up. You can't hear that very well, can you? Is that even playing through? Yeah, so that doesn't play through the... What I can do, I think you can do it in workspace. So if I go new workspace, so here, if I test something, you can change the volume here.
Shame what happened to this fucking town.
So I can
Really.
go 12 dB there,
Just look at it.
but I can also, I think you might be able to do it in here as well. I don't know. Basically, now that I've upped that 12 dB, anything that plays through your preview on your audio suite will be
Damn shame.
12 dB louder. Hey Mike, welcome. Thanks Mike, I appreciate that. I used to do this a lot on Twitch, but been a long time, but I'm happy to be back, so welcome. So we're going to listen back. You press that and it picks up the background noise.
Fucking town. Really. Just look at it. Damn shame.
So now I'll
It's
show
a
you before and
damn
after.
Shame what happened to this fucking town. Really. Just look at it.
What I might do is I'll show you this first, but then we'll try and do it with isotope and see if we can get a better result. So this is on
It's a damn shame.
at about
what happened to
60%.
this fucking town. Really.
Oh,
Just. It's a damn shame what happened to this fucking town. Really. Just look at it. It's a damn shame what happened to this fucking town.
I'll
Really.
maybe back off the tops a little bit. How good is this plugin?
Damn shame. It's a damn shame what happened to this fucking town. Really. Just look at it.
That amazes me. Anyone else like blown away by this? Hey, welcome. More people. This is awesome. So I'm just reading the chat. Do you save all the live streams? Well, Mike, I've only actually just started on YouTube as of tonight. This is my first live stream back. So I have a bunch of old live streams that I did on Twitch. So if you subscribe to my channel, go back through. I've got, there'll be multiple productions that I've worked on from start to finish like this, going through everything. So definitely go back through and watch them. But I am going to be ramping it up. So definitely subscribe so you can see future productions. What do we got? You need to change the audio path to in the IO tab. Yeah, so I've boosted it anyway. So can I select monitor path, audition path? No. I can't turn it up though. You can hear it though, right? Are you not hearing? Sorry, you're not hearing this?
It's a damn shame.
Oh, you are?
what
Okay.
happened to this
In which scenario we should use wave clarity stereo instead of mono when you have a stereo sound effect? So the only thing, it does have a stereo version, and you can actually use the width. There's a width knob, and you can bring the sound in. You can also, using the stereo, you can listen to the noise in both sides separately. Excuse me, or you can do them both together in mono. But I try whenever I can. If it's a mono track, mono audio, you should just be using the mono version of the plugin, particularly for the audio suite. Although I don't know that in this situation it wouldn't make any difference. So All good there. All right. So honestly, this is phenomenal.
It's a damn
How hard do you
shame
think? Should I go full
this
hard?
fucking town. Really. Just look at it.
Yeah. We don't need to get rid of everything. We'll probably add some sound back in as well, like
It's
some
a
ambience.
damn shame what happened to this fucking town. Really. Just look at it.
Just try
Damn shame.
different broad neural
Damn
networks.
shame what happened to this fucking town. Really. Just look at it. Damn shame. It's a damn shame what happened to this fucking town. Really. Just look at it.
I'm going to render that because I am liking it. Anyone else noticing much artifact? The one thing I will do as well, and I'm a huge fan of clip gain, I use it religiously with stuff. So I'll clip gain
It's
this.
a damn shame what happened to this fucking town. Really. It's a damn shame what happened to this fucking town. Really. Just look at it.
We'll have to add the
Damn shame.
smoking sound effect again. What I might do though, I'm going to send this to Isotope because there's some sound after, where are we? These days I find it quicker to just go to the brand, to the brands tab. What am I doing? Connect, RX Connect. So I held shift there, so then it opens up two windows. So I've got two audio suites. So I'm going to send that to Isotope. And get rid of this declip because we're not clipping. I need to set up, done this yet, my audio device to be not core. We want to set that to RX monitor. So I set up the bus before that's got RX monitor on it.
This fucking town.
So hear that weird sound?
Fucking town. Real.
So what I'm going to do is just, we'll try attenuate first. And if you press, what is it? R. So there's, I think it's R, and that's time based. And then what was the other one? So R, T, and F changes these. So we want R, which is both time and frequency.
Fucking town. Real. Town. Real. Town. Town. Real. Town. Real. Just town. Real.
And get rid of these birds as well.
Real. Real.
Might make that full window. It's annoying that that stays there, the Pro Tools screen. Oh, there we go.
Just.
So you can either use attenuation. We can use replace, which sometimes works better. So replace literally changes,
Just.
like gets whatever's around it. So that's a good way to get rid of
Just look.
stuff. Now, obviously, this is a pretty, like, I'm going pretty intense with this stuff. It's slow, but we get the best result out of it. In which scenario? That's sorry. Oh, you retracted your message.
Just look at it. Just look at it. Just look at it.
There's no look at it.
Look at it.
But let's be a bit more specific. Try and not get rid of too much other stuff.
Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Just look at it. Just look at it. Damn shame.
So we'll get rid of that noise as well. Now the thing, because this documentary doesn't have heaps of dialogue, so it's worth us, you know, taking the time to make sure this is spot on. But really,
It's a damn shame.
any production deserves
It's
this
a
kind of work.
damn- It's a damn shame what happened to this fucking town. It's a damn shame what happened to this fucking town.
Tiago, is it, or Thiago? Thiago? I just started tonight. This is the first time being back, and I'm now on YouTube rather than Twitch. I just decided that I've got a YouTube channel. I should be using that.
Real. Just, it's a damn shame what happened to this fucking town.
All right, so there's some birds there. What I'm going to do is, if you, where is it? Nope, wrong one. I'm just trying to get rid of the blue. Can't remember how to do it. Oh, let's do that. We'll move it out of the way.
It's a damn shame what happened to this shame.
So this is where replace might work better. So if we just get rid of the bird.
Shame what happened. Shame what happened to this fucking town. Real. Shame what happened to this fucking town. What happened to this fucking town. What happened to this fucking town.
Sorry about the language, guys.
What happened to this fucking town. Real. Just look at it. Damn shame.
So we're going to have to add the smoking back in. So we've sent that back and we're going to now render that. So
it's a damn shame what happened to this fucking town. Real. Just look at it. Damn shame.
I love that guy's voice. How awesome is that voice? Tiago. Yeah. I think I said Tiago first, didn't I? Thanks for spelling that out, mate. Thanks, Sam. I appreciate you saying that. Hey, Jord. Thanks for joining us. Oh, it's okay about the language. Yeah, I'm glad because there's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah, you know.
All right, so we'll do that, guys, again because it's better to stick with what you got.
I know it's very hard to believe a story about little green men, Martians, whatever.
We'll worry about EQ and compression later. Let's just get rid of the noise.
I know it's very hard.
So let's listen to that.
I know it's very hard to believe a story about little green men, Martians, whatever. The aliens that abducted Martha. But stranger things have happened, and I think we shouldn't be too close-minded about it. So we've got to have a bit of empathy with what...
So this is, well, RX is magic for sure if you know what you're doing with it. And there's other great, like, it's got other modules, but honestly, I'm trying to use Clarity as well because, like, I just find this amazing, like, before and after is crazy.
I know it's very hard to believe a story about little green men, Martians, whatever. The aliens...
I just think it does such a good job of keeping the dialogue true. So if you're going to buy Clarity, I do... well, sorry, I should be talking here. I'm just looking at the chat at the same time. It's unfortunately all the way over there. I have a video on Clarity, and there's a link in the description. If you're going to buy Clarity, I would love it if you could use that link. I don't think I've copied it into the description of this video, which I should, but I would really appreciate it if you're going to buy. There's the basic version of this and then the pro version, but if you're going to buy it, I'd love it if you used my link. Obviously, I get kickbacks, and that just helps me keep doing this. And we're staying up late. Well, it's late for me. It's almost 10 o'clock, so I won't be able to go on forever tonight, but, you know, I'll get as much done as I can. So I'm going to render this, and then I'm going to go through and just do a bit of clip gain just to kind of bring out some of the quieter parts of the dialogue. I know, because then it means you don't have to hit a compressor as hard.
I know it's very hard to believe a story.
Particularly like this stuff where the guy kind of trails off, so you can see he'll trail off at the end of a sentence.
I know it's very hard to believe a story about little green men, Martians, whatever. The aliens that abducted Martha. But stranger things have happened, and I think we shouldn't be too close-minded about it. So we've got to have a bit of empathy with what her experience was.
He's saying some true words, eh? The one thing, this sounds thinner to me, so I don't know if they had a high-pass filter on that.
I know it's very hard to believe a story about little green men.
I'm going to give it a bit
whatever.
of a
the aliens that
boost
abducted Martha.
And even get rid of just some of the lower mids.
And I think we shouldn't be too close-minded about it. I know it's very hard to believe a story about little green men, Martians, whatever, the aliens that abducted Martha.
Just using that to match
It's
this.
a damn shame what happened to this fucking town. I know it's very hard to believe.
It's different locations, so it's not going to be perfect, and they're not together anyway, so it doesn't matter if they're not exact same. So all good. All right, so that's him done. Let's go through Beanie Lady. They all have names. I apologise, but
around here, but nobody's going to say anything. You know.
oh, that's some interesting audio.
Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here, but nobody's going to say anything.
So what we need to do with clarity, so it picks up all the it basically reads the ambient noise and what's not dialogue. You just need to press this reset button.
Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here.
Or listen.
Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here, but nobody's going to say anything. You know, we don't want to be lumped in the same basket as poor Martha.
So this is
I'm certainly not going to say anything because
fair bit noisier.
I've seen what happens.
Might not use this one quite as heavy, and then we might try and use isotope.
Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here, but nobody's.
Is that audio clipping?
Yeah, you know, stuff happens.
Is that clipping where?
Yeah,
Sorry.
you know, stuff happens around here, but nobody's going to say anything. You know.
Looking at the monitoring meter, are you talking about on my master channel, or are you talking about on the channel itself?
Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here, but nobody's going to. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know, stuff
Oh,
happens.
Bangladesh, nice. No, we're not clipping here. So what I can do is, first of all, we could just even use this EQ to roll off a bit.
Here, but nobody's going to say anything. You know, we don't want to be lumped.
So we'll just roll off the very low stuff. We'll play this back.
Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here, but nobody's going to say anything. You know, we don't want to be lumped in the same basket as poor Martha.
I'm just getting rid of some of the tops
I'm certainly
because
not going to say anything because, you know.
I don't know. I think that wind is a bit artifacty for
Yeah,
me.
you
This
know,
one.
Stuff happens around here, but nobody's going to say anything. You know, we don't want to be lumped in the same basket as.
You know what? I'm not gonna print that. I'm gonna do a test. Let's see what we can do with isotope instead.
Rumours, they can kill you. Yeah. But rumours,
Don't want that, but
they can kill you. You know, it spreads like wildfire.
gonna make sure we got a neatish fade at the end.
Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here, but nobody's going to
Fades.
say anything. You know, we don't want to.
Sorry, I should. In the new studio, I'm gonna have a down camera on my setup, mixer, keyboard, and I will also add back keyboard shortcuts on the screen because I'm clicking like a wild ninja, a wild man ninja, Pro Tools ninja, I don't know. And so, you know, it's hard because all you're seeing is my delicious face and the screen, but I will bring all that stuff back in future streams so you get to see a bit more detail. So, hey Diamond, how you doing? Diamond District Studios and Lego Wig, what's up? I'm on the road at the moment. Will you record this for watching later? So I'll probably just leave the stream up so you can watch it later on. But I'm also recording this, so I'll be able to put it up later as well. So if I don't just keep this live stream fully up, I will post it later. But again, there's lots of content online, so yeah, it's going great. Really happy to be back streaming. I'm excited. I got the new studio on the way, which I've mentioned a million times. I apologize, but no, it's good. I'm happy to be here. I've missed it. I've missed having the chats. I've missed working and sharing knowledge and all that. I am keeping the desk. It is definitely going to make in the studio, although my wife probably doesn't like that idea because it's big and bulky and stuff. But I'm streaming from Melbourne, Australia. So we got this crap.
Stuff happens.
Let's see what Dialog Isolate is pretty phenomenal. I don't normally use presets, but I'm going to just quickly I just want to see, because I don't know, I'm not going to do that. We don't need to preserve the ambience at all. Quality, we want best. We want the dialogue. We could even boost the dialogue a smidgy, but it doesn't really matter. Let's just go like 5 dB and let's see how that sounds. Not even going to preview it, because preview, I think you get a lower quality version of it. Hello, ZZ. Welcome. We're doing some dialogue restoration at the moment. Make sure you all subscribe for future streams. I've got a bunch of great videos for you all to watch. I should probably start a Patreon or something, shouldn't I? Because to be honest, this is tough work doing all this and not really... Well, I'm happy to share this knowledge, let's be honest. I don't even care that much, but I should do a Patreon to afford coffees and stuff, eh?
Yeah, you know, stuff happens.
Johannesburg, nice. 2 o'clock. Oh, that's good. It's 10 o'clock here at night, so we'll see how long I can last.
Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here.
That sounds pretty good. Let's go another 5 dB. The only thing is I am boosting the dialogue a dB every time as well, so I just got to be careful it doesn't clip. This is cool that people from all over the joint. I should have actually moved to YouTube a long time ago. I had things going really well on Twitch. I actually got affiliate really quickly and brought a lot of my audience over to Twitch, but this is way better. I'm doing some work on dialogue for a project. This should be great. Thanks. Cool.
I'm certainly not going to say anything because, you know, yeah, you know, stuff happens around here, but nobody's going to say anything. You know, we don't want to...
That's sounding a little bit artifacty to me as well. So let's try D-Wind. I don't really love D-Wind. Let's go about... We'll just go some of the lower frequencies. So maybe about 200 Hertz-ish. Reduction, let's just lose a couple of dBs. Artifact smoothing, let's keep that high. Let's see what happens. Scotland, nice. All over the joint. Oh, that's...
Yeah, you know...
No, that sucks. All right, let's go about 100 dB because then we'll just get rid of the real low rumble. I don't know what this fundamental recovery does, so we're going to just set it and see. See, I don't want to lose. So you can see down here, it's like just at about 100 Hertz.
We don't want to be lumped in the same basket as poor Martha. I'm certainly not going to say anything because, you know...
Yeah.
I've seen what happens.
Not too thin. That's all right. What I can also do, let's try doing... Oh, I've still got instant process on, so I'm going to press I to turn that off. So I just turns on instant processing. So whatever you select, it does it too. I'm also going to do voice denoise. Let's go. Let's learn that. And let's set that to just under 0. Maybe a reduction of 3 dB.
Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here.
Nah, sounds too artifacty to me.
Nobody's going to say anything. You know, we don't want to be lumped in.
Maybe let's send this back and let's go back to clarity and see if we can get a bit more out of clarity. So send it back and we're going to render it.
Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here. But, yeah, you know, stuff happens around here. But nobody's going to say anything. You know, we don't want to be lumped in the same basket as poor Martha.
Let's go sensitivity to normal rather than high. See if we can get it less artifacty.
You know, stuff happens around here. Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here. But nobody's going to say anything. You know, we don't want to be lumped in the same basket as poor Martha.
Ugh. I'm just going to undo the the isotope for a minute.
Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here. But nobody's going to say anything. You know, we don't want to be lumped in the same basket as poor Martha. I'm certainly not going to say anything because, you know...
But we need some EQ because it's clearly like low and muffly. We need to bring up some of
you know,
the higher frequencies.
Here,
not the Sibylus stuff,
nobody's
but...
going to say anything. You know, we don't want to be lumped in the same basket as poor Martha. I'm certainly not going to say anything because, you know... I've seen what happens.
So the other thing to remember as well, we are going to have music through all this, so you don't want, like, we don't have to be too cautious, but a little bit.
Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here, but nobody's going to say anything. You know, we don't want to be lumped in the same basket as
I
poor
feel like you
Martha.
get the kind of almost doubling of the
Nonsense.
sound with this, if you
Yeah, you know,
from the
stuff
artifacts.
happens around here, but nobody's going to say anything. You know, we don't want to be lumped in the same basket as poor Martha. I'm certainly not going to say anything because, you know, I've seen what happens. Yeah. Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here, but nobody's going to say anything. You know, we don't want to.
We can always keep, like, we don't have to have it dead clean. We can keep some of that wind noise in there.
I'm not going to say anything because, you know.
Let's render that, and then I might even see how we go. Might roll off a bit more of the low end.
Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here, but nobody's going to say anything. You know, we don't want to be lumped in.
As I said, we'll do EQ later and some compression.
Yeah, you know,
Just doing some clip
happens around
gain.
here, but nobody's going to say anything. You know, we don't want to be lumped in the same basket as poor Martha. I'm certainly not going to say anything because, you know, I've seen what happens. Yeah. Rumours, they can kill you. You know, it spreads like wildfire.
The thing is, as well, you can see that it's really windy in the picture, so people are going to expect some wind anyway. What time would you suggest is the best for streaming audio production material as you do over on Twitch? What time would you suggest is best for streaming audio production material like you do over on Twitch? Are you thinking about streaming yourself? The time I stream is the time I have work to do and have work to stream. I used to be working, like, because I worked more freelance. These days I've got another job doing some other media stuff. So at this stage, it's when I can do the work. So unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit sporadic, but obviously the clips will be up. So if you want to come back and watch later, that's fine. But unfortunately, yeah, I'll be streaming when I can do the work. It'll be mostly in evenings, and Fridays I work freelance for myself. So, but if you're wondering for yourself, it depends where your audience is. If your audience is international, which most of mine is, late at night's good. I don't know. There's no really good time. Depends what, you know, who you want to stream to, really.
Yeah, we've only got a population of about 60 people.
So I pre-rolled the last one.
But, you know, we all know each other.
Let's go this again.
We've only got a population of about 60 people here that sort of live there.
I'm just going to press that
you know, we all know
neural
each
network
other and we all
reset,
watch out for each
so it
other and,
rereads the
yeah,
background
we're a
noise.
tight-knit little community. Yeah, we've only got a population of
So one thing I will do as well is just check my fades. So we want to make sure we got a bit of a roll off at the end.
community. Yeah, we've only got a population of about 60 people here that. Yeah, we've only got a population of about 60 people here that sort of live there about. Yeah, we've only got a population.
That's all right.
Yeah, we've only got a population of.
Can you guys hear her dialogue well enough? Is that loud enough? Oh, you mix mostly music. Yeah, nice. Well, like, there's heaps of people already doing stuff on YouTube and Twitch and all that sort of stuff. Honestly, I would suggest don't use Twitch. Just use. You can do most of the stuff you can do on Twitch in YouTube these days. And I just honestly think, I don't know. I've been a long time since I've, been on Twitch. I'm not really into the idea. If you're going to make other, like, short tutorials and clips, you better just keep it all on YouTube, build your channel. If you have multiple things going on as well, which I did, I was filming on Twitch and then I put things on YouTube after the fact, it just gets messy.
Yeah, we've only got a population of about 60 people here that sort of live thereabouts, but.
I'll render that and I'm just going to check clip gain again. So this is pretty slow. I'm obviously trying to explain everything in chat at the same time. Means this project's going to take me twice as long, but that's all right.
Yeah, we've only got a population of about 60 people here that sort of live thereabouts, but, you know, we all know each other and we all watch out for each other and, yeah, we're a tight-knit little community.
So a bit of EQ will help some of this stuff, I think, too.
Yeah, we've only got a population of about 60 people here that Yeah, we've only got a population of about 60 people here that sort of live thereabouts, but you know, we all know each other and we all watch out for each other, and yeah. Yeah, we've only got a population of about 60 people here that sort of live thereabouts, but you know, we all know each other and we all watch out for each other, and
Why is that queue not changing? Wrong one.
yeah, we've only got a population of about 60 people here that sort of live thereabouts, but you know, we all know each other. Yeah, we've only got a population of about 60 people here that sort of live thereabouts, but you know, we all know each other and we all watch out for each other, and
So what you can do, so I've obviously used clip gain to do that. So if you hold, I think it's Alt. Nope. Control. Nope. Command. So if you press Command and then click on that one, that's now a preset. So I can go through and say for this audio,
yeah, you know,
I can
stuff happens around
press
here,
that
but
and it will set
nobody's
it.
going to say anything. You
So
know,
I'll
we
roll
know
it off a bit more.
Yeah, you know, stuff happens around here, but nobody's going to say anything.
There's lots of frequencies that
Yeah,
annoy
you know,
me.
Stuff happens around here, but nobody's going to say anything. You know, we don't want to be lumped in the same basket as poor Martha. About 60 people here that.
Can you explain how Clip Effects works and the benefits of using it? I would say it's a newer way to work to me. Oh, my chair's falling down. I've got a stand-up desk here, so this is a weird chair. Anyway, so to me, I use Clip Effects. So the old school way is to use automation. And so you have one plugin on there and you use automation. So you might select the clip and you print the automation to that clip. And which is great if you need to use plugins that aren't as simple as, say, an EQ. So if you're going to use, I don't know, if you've got some sort of, not reverb, but if you're using maybe like Futz Box and you want to change the sound between two clips, then you can, without printing that effect, you can print the automation. And so I go to the next clip and I print the slight EQ changes to the automation. So it's all there in automation. But to me, if it's just EQ, that's all I use Clip Effects for at the moment is EQ. I would love it like other DAWs if they let you put other plugins in there. So you could put a VST and actually have a clip effect. So if you want to do noise reduction, you use that instead. So it's only on the clip and then you can go back and change it if you want. So it's like the traditional way of going through and EQing each clip. So I basically, if I need to match two clips, different locations, the EQ is a little bit different, or whatever, like two clips straight after another, or even something like ADR or whatever, if you just want to do it, you know, maybe not so much ADR because it's always the same sound from the studio, but definitely if you've got maybe like you've changed camera angles and the boom's not in the same spot as it was for the previous clip, you can just nudge the EQ so that they sound the same. It's just a quick way of doing that. And so at the moment I've got no effects on any of the channels and I can do some EQing before I then do a broader EQ of the whole channel. You know what I mean? So maybe the broader EQ, or, you know, the plugins I'll add is slight bit of compression, but I've already done some clip gain, which will slightly compress, you know, will compress a little bit, but you only want to compress a little bit anyway, keep some of the dynamics, but by doing a little bit of clip gain, you don't lose the tail off the voice. And we might, you know, so we'll add some, maybe some general EQ, whether it's just kind of rolling off the bottom end or whatever. So, yeah, direct offline processing innuendo. That's what I was talking about. So honestly, I've wanted to move to Nuendo, and then I worked on a whole feature or started a feature in Nuendo, and there was just too many roadblocks. And even, in fact, one of the things that I was having issue with was using direct offline processing. Was I'd change an EQ on one clip and it would change it for another. It was doing weird things, and I was working in Pro Tools. I decided just to scrap it and start in Pro Tools because after a week I was just so slow in it. We've been doing that for years. Yeah, we can add any plugin and several processes to each clip and several at the same time and preset them. Yeah, it's honestly, it's awesome. And you can now do that in Fairlight as well. So I found that the other day that in Fairlight you can add any VST you want to a clip, copy and paste it and stuff. So same deal. It's pretty cool.
For each other.
The fact that Pro Tools still haven't done that yet baffles me. But you know, Pro Tools, they do everything way after everyone else.
For each
I
other.
still end up
Yeah.
using it though.
We're a tight-knit little community.
All right.
Martha.
So these
Yeah,
clips,
she's
let's
a
process these all together. So we're going to roll off a little bit like I did before. Let's just check our fades and things are all right. I might bring it back a little bit and have it fade in.
Martha. Yeah, she's a strange one, that one. Known her since she was a kid. I was a few years ahead of her at school, and
We just want to have a little bit of noise kind of. We can clip gain it later
I
if
was
you
a
want
few
as well.
years ahead of her at school, and she was never very much, and you know what they say, not much of a scholar. That's at school. That's and she was just like that at school. Like that at school. And she was just so.
What we might do is I'm just going to check.
Yeah, Martha. Yeah, she's.
I'm just going to grab that noise. There's not much of it. I'm going to undo those. And I'm going to just slap that on the end here. Oh no, that didn't work. See if there's some at the end. Okay.
You know.
Undo that. See if that worked. No, it seems to not save my copy.
That
Let's just copy that then.
school. And she.
So we won't need the end of that. We just want to get a little bit of noise there.
School. That at school. School. That at school. That at school. That at school.
So we just, it means it just doesn't go hard to silence there.
And she was just so convincing that. And she was just so convincing that. And she was just so convincing to it.
So you just don't want that sharp,
Truth to it.
sharp fade out. We will probably clean half that out anyway. So now we've got all of that. We've got our clip gain EQ, which we can do on multiple clips. So the fact they're all selected, you can pull that up there. Side note, if it was changing other clips as well, it's because you had changed all clips option on. Probably you slice the clip from another one with the option on, DOP will assume that you want to change the original and edits to. Yeah. Look, it wasn't the only thing. There was just a few, there was multiple reasons why I just was getting over how slow I was as well. And I just felt like I wasn't doing a good, like the quality I know I can get from Pro Tools and Isotope and all the things, for whatever reason, I just wasn't doing it as well in Innuendo, and I just didn't have the time to stick it out. I had to get the project. I think I did a feature film in about a month and a week or something. Not even, it was like a month. And also, so I'd got a mate to clean up the project, but he did in Pro Tools. And when I input it into Innuendo, all the fades were just clips and stuff. There was all this wacky stuff that happened. And the project was a bit of a schmozzle.
Martha. Yeah, she's a strange one, that one. Known her since she was a kid. I was a few years ahead of her at school, and she.
Any recommendations on industry standard DAW for fiction and documentary work other than Pro Tools? Honestly, I've been recently making a lot of videos on, as in YouTube videos on DaVinci Resolve. Fairlight is their DAW in there. If you want a budget-friendly, and when I say budget, it's literally $0. You can download it for free, and I'm pretty sure, especially if you're using it for Fairlight, you get all the features. So if you want to work in like 8K video and stuff like that, there's other features you don't get, but I'm pretty sure you get all the Fairlight for free. You can import AAFs, you can do heaps of stuff within Fairlight. It's already got plugins, like its own sort of dynamics and other stuff. Honestly, you can't go wrong with it. It is still a bit buggy. There's a few things in there that I'm like, I wish Pro Tools has it. But I've been working, and I'm about to start. I've done a quick pass, but I'm about to start a feature film that was shot, edited in Resolve. It's going to be colored in Resolve, and I'm doing all of the work in Fairlight. And I will probably film the process or most of the process and make a video series out of it. So you will get to see me working within Fairlight. But honestly, I would say Fairlight is quickly becoming my favorite DAW, because I also do a lot of video work. So the fact you can do all the audio within the video editor is awesome. There are lots of bugs and hiccups and stuff, but the fact that it's free and you can do so much stuff in it, I would suggest, particularly if you want something budget friendly, because Pro Tools is so expensive. You can do 5.1 in it. This is the problem with Pro Tools, is you got to pay a bucket load of money for the 5.1 version. I would say Nuendo's got so many great features. There's ADR and stuff, an ADR tab, but there also is in Fairlight, so you can do ADR within it. But so like Nuendo's got heaps of awesome plugins and things, but Nuendo's also really expensive. So if you want a budget-friendly DAW, Fairlight is the way to go. Hope that helped you. Lot potty.
Martha. Yeah, she's a strange one.
All right, so let's listen to this at normal. Sorry, I'm pretty slow here. Is everyone else bored yet?
Martha. Yeah, she's a strange one, that one. Known her since she was a kid. I was a few years ahead of her at school, and she was never very much, and what they say, not much of a scholar.
Sounded pretty good to me. What's the solution to recreating the end of a missing word? For example, in the dialogue, the character says grey instead of great. So trying to get the T into the audio. Any tips? Oh, was that the which guy? Was that this dude? Yeah, you're right. I should probably I was lazy there.
Real.
It's a damn shame what happened to this fucking town. Real. Just look at it.
Was it this guy, or was it in my production, or are
Damn
you just
shame.
talking in general?
Believe a story about little green men, Martians, whatever, the aliens that abducted Martha. But stranger things have happened, and I think we shouldn't be too close-minded about it. So we've got to have a bit of empathy with what her experience was.
Sorry, which line was that? Was that in this bit section I was just working on?
And I never think of aliens, and I think it's only on movies.
In general. Okay, so yeah, that's honestly, it's a tricky one, because if they haven't said it anywhere else, it's going to be hard, right? You could probably just record yourself going t and great. You just put a t sound, do it yourself, and chuck it in, see if you can make it match. That's probably the best I could do. Like, if they don't say great or T anywhere else, then you're stuffed. But I would suggest try and do it yourself. Try and record, because T is fine, because there's not much to it. So especially if they say great, you just put T in there, you're all good. You can design it by cutting a slice out of sh. There you go. And then a pop sound from it.
She's a strange one, that one. Known her since she was a kid. I was a few years ahead. Martha. Yeah, she's a strange one, that one. Known her since she was a kid. I was a few years ahead of her at school, and she was never very much, and what they say, not much of a scholar. That's why I think that, she couldn't have made up a story like that, because she never showed anything like that.
Good luck with it, ZZ.
and she was just so convincing that
I'll put my
I thought
EQ.
there must have been a ring. Martha. Yeah, she's a strange one, that one. Known her since she was a kid. I was a few years ahead of her at school, and she was never very much, and what they say, not much of a scholar.
So this will need a bit of a de-esser and stuff, but it's a good idea to try and brighten it out a little bit.
And in the morning when they found him, pretty sad. Really shook her up a bit. Ah, gosh. Sometimes I think that Martha was just so convincing about what she saw. Martha, the way she described it, and he was pretty much frozen in the morning when they found him. Pretty sad. Really shook her up a bit. She didn't speak much after that.
So we'll just quickly clip gain this and all that jazz. Thanks for helping each other out. It's good. This is what I loved about it originally, doing streams and stuff. The community is also helpful with each other, and like in streams, I've had people send me sounds and stuff they've recorded in their room to help for productions. Like, I just love when everyone gets involved. Good work.
Horrific, actually. Statue on the ground was pretty horrific, actually. Actually. Ah, gosh.
Just checking my fades.
I always think that there's something out there.
I'll have to neaten
A bit of a ruckus.
that one
Go
later.
Out in the veranda, nothing there. Martha was just so convincing about what she saw. Martha was just so convincing about what she saw. The way she described it was like a big cigar shape with all these lights around. Sort of like the way she described it was like a big cigar shape. The way she described it was like a big cigar shape. Touched by it. As I said, some people touched by it, and that's what. As I said, some people touched by it. As I said, some people touched by it. As I said, some people believe her. I'm one of them, but not everybody's as nice as me. Yeah.
Really trails off there, doesn't she?
Yeah. Touched by it. As I
Just going to add some more noise at the end there, just to smoothen that out. Sorry, if you got any questions, I'll look over. Hey Hazim, how you doing?
touched by it. As I touched by it. As I said, some people believe her. I'm one of them, but not everybody's as nice as me. Touched by it. As I said, some people believe her. As I said, some people believe. As I said, some people believe her. I'm one of them, but not everybody's as nice. As I said, some people believe her. As I said, some people believe.
Alright, let's give this a red hot go. So we're going to use clarity again. Sorry, you can't see. Sorry, I need to move that somewhere else. I'm going to move Hope over here because you don't need to see it. Bring this down.
They found him
I might
down the long paddock.
do these
actually.
clips separately just because the noise in them might be a bit different. So I got to press that
found him down
reset.
the long paddock, actually. He'd sort of had a night on the booze, and it was -3 degrees, and he was pretty much frozen in the morning when they found him.
How you going, Hazim? Where are you located again? Listen to this. Reset.
Sometimes I think that there's something more out there. There has to be. Like, look at all those stars in the skies. We can't be the only things out here, for sure. I always think that there's something out there. Always. I've always had that feeling. And, you know, when the dogs go off in the middle of the night, you know, a bit of a ruckus, and you go out in the veranda, nothing there.
And I'm pretty happy with how many people are here, considering this is the first stream in ages. Does anyone know how many people are watching?
Martha was just so convincing about what she saw. Martha was just so convincing about what she saw. Martha was just so convincing about what the way she described it was like a big cigar shape with all these lights around it and made like a sort of a humming sound. I would have been bloody terrified, mate, you know. I would have been taken off.
I'm just moving these bands down because I want to not
She was
treat
like,
the top end stuff too much because it's mostly just
Right.
low winds and stuff
as
anyway.
I said,
A little
some
bit of
people
bird
believe
chirping in the
I'm
background
one
doesn't
of
bother
them,
me.
But not everybody's as nice as me.
So I'll do these two clips separately
The
as
way
well.
she described it, the way she described it was like a big cigar shape with all these lights around it and made like a sort of a humming sound. I would have been bloody.
Nice. That's pretty good. That took me a long time to get on Twitch,
As
so
I said, some people believe I'm one of them,
cool.
but not everybody's as nice as me.
there we go.
As I said, some people believe I'm one of them, but not everybody's as nice as me. Yeah. As I said, some people believe I'm one of them.
Dubai now. Nice. Have you set up a studio called Gaius Studio, or is that where you used to work? What's the deal?
Said some people believe I'm one of them, but not everybody's as nice as me. Yeah.
To see how I use clip gain just to kind of, she trails off during that stuff, so it just helps bring that back. So I'm going to now put this EQ that I made
They
for her.
found him down the long paddock, actually. He'd sort of had a night on the booze, and it was -3 degrees, and he was pretty much frozen in the morning when they found him. Pretty sad. Really shook her up a bit. She didn't speak much after that. No, just mumbling about, you know, what she saw that time, and yeah. But it was really sad. Poor bastard. Just lying there like a statue on the ground.
Can you hear that all right?
Actually.
Sorry, my voice is probably too loud.
Oh, gosh. You know, sometimes I think that there's something more out there. You know, there has to be. Like, look at all those stars in the skies. We can't be the only things out here, for sure.
So this kind of stuff, this is where she trails off a bit. You just give it a little boost.
In the skies. We can't be the only things out here, for sure. I always think that there's something out there. Always. I've always had that feeling. And, you know, when the dogs go off in the middle of the night, you know, a bit of a ruckus, and you go out in the veranda, nothing there. Martha was just so convincing about what she saw. The way she described it was like a big cigar shape with all these lights around it and made like a sort of a humming sound. I would have been bloody terrified, mate, you know. I would have been taken off. But Martha...
Hey, Visible Studios. Is this Nick or Tim who's watching? Needs colour. I'm assuming it's Tim then. So Tim at Visible Studios is doing the colour grade on this production. Welcome, mate.
And made like a sort of a humming sound. I would have been bloody terrified, mate, you know. I would have been taken off. But Martha...
Mate, you should have heard it before, Tim. Check this out.
They found him down the long paddock, actually. He'd sort of had a night on the booze, and it was -3 degrees, and he was pretty much frozen in the morning when they found him. Pretty sad. Really shook her up a bit. She didn't speak much after that. No, just mumbling about, you know, what she saw that time.
All right, so that's all her audio done. Sorry, it's not a very exciting process, so I hope I'm not boring too many people. My new studio is in Dubai, is ready, and I'm currently working on gathering all possible information about 5.1. Sweet. Well, I do have some videos on it, but I'll also be doing a lot more when I set up my studio. So got some thoughts on noise, room treatment and room correction as well. So
I had a good and bad life. I had a good and bad. I had a good and bad life. It was
we want to have nice crossfades.
It was hard. It was very hard for me because I left all my family back.
She's pretty dynamic,
I
so
didn't see them for 7 years, and that was very hard for me. I live next to the Martha's farm, and I've been for years there, and I never saw anything like that.
so she's in a controlled. Her interview's all in the one spot, so I'm going to just quickly go through all her stuff.
Say all these stupid things about aliens. It's impossible. And she say all this stupid. And she say all this. She say all these stupid things about aliens. It's impossible. Martha is a big problem in this town. Never. I never think of aliens. Never. I never. Never. I never think of it. Never. I never think of aliens, and I think it's only on movies. That's all. People on their mind or something, but I never saw anything. Nothing, really. In my life, I haven't seen anything around here or even in my...
So there's a resonant frequency that's kind of annoying me in her dialogue. I'm going to fix it here and then put on the rest. So just...
Never. I never think of aliens, and I think it's only on movies. That's all. People...
anyone else see it's 346 hertz-ish?
Something, but I never saw anything. Nothing, really. In my life, I haven't seen anything. Never. I never think of aliens, and
So I press Command and press 2, and now she's got 2, so we can just select them all, click 2. We could also then just roll off the bottom a bit as well, maybe spin her out a bit, give her some trebles. Let me read the chat for a minute. What are you aiming for dialogue levels wise? At the moment, I'm not worried too much. Let me see what they're sitting at.
A good and bad life.
Yeah, so normally I would aim for about -18-ish. Well, depends, because this is going to be... Sorry, I should talk to the camera. I'm out of practice. This is going to be for web, so it's probably... I might make like a broadcast version. So sometimes I also have a second master channel, and I'll have like a... It's boosted by so would it be 6 dB or something, and then put a slight compression on it before it hits the limiter, the hard limiter, and that would be a web version. And then there's just the broadcast 24 for us is 24 LUFS. So I might stick with 24 LUFS for this thing and then give them a web version that's a bit louder, but I'll just boost it and bounce out a second one. But I normally do have a second bus for that as well. But I don't know, -18-ish sounds about right. That's a good point for plugins, just a good sweet spot for some plugins and stuff. But to be honest, at this stage, it doesn't really matter. I think I'm just still cleaning up and doing a little bit of EQ. My clip gain, the one thing that's the best way to work is you should have your monitors calibrated. So at the moment, because I'm in a random space, I have just set my volume, and now I'm just kind of clip gaining to where it sounds the same. So once you find kind of the comfortable level, so after I did the first guy, I'm like, this is the comfortable level. So I'm actually doing more using my ears than I am reading a meter. So if you calibrate your room to say, so a small room, and my new studio would probably be about 78 dB, using a level meter and stuff. So if you set it to 0, so what is, 78 dB, or if you're in a bigger room, up to 85 dB, if you set it, then you should be able to, without any meters or anything like that, mix pretty close to 24 or whatever, your production level or whatever. Or if it's for a film, if you have it at 85 dB, you should mix dialogue basically the same every time, because what sounds comfortable, what's a good talking level, will be the right level for you. So that's why I tend to not ride my master volume when I start a production, particularly when I'm mixing. If you're mixing a production, leave your volume, at 0 or whatever is your 78 dB or whatever in your room, your calibrated room, so that your audio levels are consistent from start to finish. The same with, like, if I'm doing a live broadcast, like a live stream mix or something like that, once you kind of start working on, you get your basic mix down, just don't ever touch your master fader, because you know what is going to be that right level. Hope that helped. What's a resonant frequency? Resonant. Sorry, did I not speak clear enough? Resonance. It's so something resonant, as in, like, certain speakers or things have a resonant frequency. It's like so a mic, you might knock it and it has this certain frequency that it sticks out, like, or something that's hollow, like there's this certain frequency that's resonant that sticks out. That I don't know. Someone Google the word resonant. Basically, I can hear it could be because of the way the mic's placed, pointing down to it at the desk. So there's a certain frequency in the room that's building up. So there's a resonant frequency it's like resonating in the room, because it's either the desk or something is popping out. So I'm aiming for as close to -12, maybe even -10. Yeah, so the peaks are probably at about -10 or whatever ish, but probably the overall would be -18. But if you go too high, so a lot of plugins, depending on the plugin, so more modern ones don't matter so much, but if you got like a LA2A or something like that, those plugins want that sweet spot, like of kind of -18 is a good spot to have your audio. Thanks, Sam, saying it's not exciting, but it's important to watch how professionals do it in real time. It's true. Although it's exciting for me, but I'm weird. Oh, okay, you did say that. All right, sweet. All good.
I had a good and bad life.
So this frequency is annoying me. Where is it?
It was hard. It was very hard for me, because I left all my family back, and I didn't see them for 7 years, and that was very hard for me. Never. I never.
Cool. She doesn't really need any cleaning though, does she?
Never. I never, and I never think
You
of
could
aliens,
technically, we could
and
clean
I
out
think
like
it's
the
only in
reverb. Let's
movies.
just have a listen anyway.
Never. I never, and I never think of aliens, and I think it's only on movies. That's all. People on their mind.
Don't need it. The only other thing that I might do for her, I'm gonna put on. Hopefully it's loaded. There's Soothe. Soothe is awesome for. I may not have the license on this computer at the moment. I do. Cool.
Never.
So
I never,
there's
and I never think.
that frequency at about 300 hertz ish.
Never. I never, and I never think of aliens, and
That's
I think
that
it's
resonant
only
frequency
movies.
is annoying
That's
me.
all.
That
People-
sound.
Never.
Hoovies. I don't know if you can hear
Never.
it.
I never, and I never think of aliens, and I think it's only on movies. That's all. People on their mind or something, but I never saw anything, nothing, really. Never. I never think of aliens, and I think it's only on movies. That's all. People on their mind.
And that'll capture those room sort of the room reverb that's happening there. I hope you can hear it, but it's pissing me off. Production level is low, minus 24 LUFS. How will you do the mix for web, which is minus 14 or something higher? I know it's a complicated question. I follow all your actions. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Well, because I haven't, at this stage, all I'm doing is cleaning up and stuff and kind of clip gaining, getting everything at about the same level. So normally I will possibly put compression on each individual channel. I might give a boost there, or even just the dialogue channel, the DX channel, I'll put a compressor on that one just to catch the last like 2 dB or something, anything that sort of sticks out. And that's also when I might give it a boost as well. So you're right. Like if I'm mixing this for web, when you say, yeah, so the thing that we don't have noise floor. So once I've cleaned this all out, there's no noise floor issues. So I can just boost something 10 dB with a trim or into plugins. So even, I won't put anything except for a hard limiter on my master channel if I was doing a bigger production. So I'd have all my stems, I'd have a 5.1 bus as well as my stereo master bus, and then stereo stems, all that sort of stuff. And so when you're if you're doing a stem system, you don't want to put anything on your master channel, anything other than a hard limiter, just take to stop any peaks. But you then can put plugins on your bus. So my DX bus, I might have a compressor and I can boost it there. But you're right. Like I don't want to, when I start mixing, to have to like push all my faders up 10 dB just to get it to the right level to be minus 14. But I also I'm not worried too much about sorry, my chair keeps flopping down. I'm not too concerned about that. It's particularly at this stage. So when I start mixing and adding some plugins, I may just raise everything up a bit more, or I might even just go through and grab all the dialogue and clip gain it up another 8 dB. At this stage, just not that concerned about it. So I hope that clarifies that a bit. All right, next person.
It wasn't like she came from a normal family. I mean, the old man was a pisshead. Even before it all happened.
At this stage, as I said, I'm going by audio, as in I'm not changing my master fader or anything like that. So I'm going based off what is comfortable for me to listen to through my monitors. Also, I'm trying to not be too loud because I don't want you to hear it through my mic. So I'm trying to get the sweet spot of that too. I'm using a dynamic mic, so that will help with not getting too much bleed through the microphone. Will you go up from within the limiter? So at the moment I have. This is the other thing, I guess, what I'm kind of doing wrong. I'm already boosting, boosting the audio level on the limiter 12 dB. So, but again, I'm not in my calibrated space, or will be when I get my studio sorted. I'm not in a calibrated space. I've literally just, turn the volume up to whatever, minus 12 on my audio unit. So again, at this stage, I'm not concerned about the audio level overall. I'm just concerned about getting all of the dialogue at the same level so you can also hear it. And I'm actually going to boost this up a bit more so you can actually hear it better through the stream. But yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. Okay, thank you so much. Sometimes I watch Vice documentaries. They are super loud. YouTube's stats for nerds hits minus 10 dB. Thank you so much for explaining and clarifying. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, the other thing is, if your production's low, once you've mixed the whole thing, you can just, boost it at the end. If everything's balanced correctly, when you raise everything 10 dB, because everything's digital, you're not adding noise. If you've already cleaned out the noise in the mic and all that sort of stuff, the raise at the end to get it to minus 24 LUFS The only other issue would be if you're pushing all the sound up into a compressor and it starts compressing it more because you want to boost it for, say, YouTube or whatever. This is going to a festival, so I assume that they'll want it at least broadcast minus 24 LUFS, but I'll get clarification from the director later on. But again, not concerned about it right now. I want all the levels to be about the same within the dialogue, and then I'll worry about that later. Hope that helps. Oh, stats for nerds. So is that minus 10 LUFS? Because stuff on YouTube, it's a Wild West, as in most things, there's not really a standard so much for YouTube, right? Like even when I do videos and when I make videos for other people and I mix for YouTube, I end up mixing stuff, same deal, minus 10, I crank the crap out of it because you want to compete with other stuff that's online. So if everyone else is making videos, people who aren't mixing it, they're just recording something on their phone and it's clipping, then, you know, you really, like I know YouTube production-wise, people are getting better, but if you're competing with other people, then make it loud. If there's, you know, as long as it sounds nice, not distorting and stuff like that, then go for it. Just really though, you just need to know your specs. I haven't done this production, but I pretty much, without a doubt, start with what's it for? Web, broadcast. All right, let's listen to this stuff.
It wasn't like she came from a normal family. I mean, the old man was a pisshead, even before it all happened.
YouTube minus 14 is YouTube, but YouTube will adjust the volume, and it is literally says how much volume has been compensated. Really? As in, where does it say that? YouTube is around minus 16 LFS, give or take a couple. No one really regulates that. That's what I thought. I thought, like, if I upload a video, I've never heard them or seen that they drop it down. Are you talking about like official YouTube productions? Because that probably makes more sense. I'm just talking about people uploading their own videos. But yeah, maybe for the actual YouTube, because I don't think I've had a production go through the kind of official YouTube stuff.
It wasn't like she came from a normal family. I mean, the old man was a pisshead, even before it all happened, or she reported to have happened. And who knows what...
I might...
Complete sake.
I might send this to Isotope this time. So I've got Isotope behind my head. Can't see it. I think for this sound...
Even before it all happened.
There's obviously like a fridge or something going on. We'll keep noise isolate open. Maybe we'll keep voice denoise there ready to go.
Right.
So what I'll do is I'll learn that quickly, but I will let's just stick with 5 dB of denoise. Right click on any video, you can get a pop-up. That's for nerds. There is a section loudness. Anyway, thanks. Okay. Cool. I will be calling it pretty soon. Because I'm getting cooked. How long have we been going for? Who bloody knows, eh? Anyone still out there, though? I guess there's 2 of you, right? So where do you right click? Right click on the video itself. And you get a pop-up. I want to try that. Let's go... give me a second. Tube. I know this is deviating, but go to one of my videos. Channel. I'm going to play this. Hopefully there's no audio. What, you right click? Oh, stats for nerds. Oh, yeah. that? Amazing. Let's skip this and see what mine says. Oh, wow. So it tells you the video port. I don't know. Is that telling you what's coming in? Oh, yeah. Content loudness. Minus 15 dB. Sorry, minus 5 dB, sorry. Tells you the codecs and everything. Far out. I don't know that, like, loudness, that might be the peak. Because I don't know, I wouldn't be cranking that whole thing at minus 5. Anyway. Yo, you should hydrate. Oh, mate, thank you so much. I am friggin' parched. Do you want to hear me drink? Been going for 2 hours, all right. Haven't even got through that much. I might try and, how much? We're almost through the dialogue, so maybe after that. Yeah, let's get through the dialogue and then we'll call it. Oh, shivers. That's not what I want to do.
He just became.
Did I end up doing... Yes, I did isolate. I might even try and do a little de-reverb, as in dialogue de-reverb. Maybe 5. Excuse me, minus 5. I don't know what's a good sensitivity level to do on de-reverb. Anyone else? Does that mean YouTube added 5.4 dB, or is that decreased? Oh, maybe it was decreased by minus 5.4. I don't know.
But after Martha reported the aliens,
Is that clipping?
After Martha reported the aliens.
No. It's getting up there though.
But after.
And so we've got to learn the noise. Learn.
Or she reported to have happened. And who knows what was happening in that family. Even before it all happened.
So I'll send that back. Render that. I'm pressing the render button. You can't see it behind my head.
It wasn't like she came.
Wonder if we could
like she came from
use this for a bit more reduction.
I mean, the old man was a pisshead. Even before it all happened. Or she reported to have happened. And who knows what was happening in that family. Maybe some things that are a bit on the untoward side. But after Martha reported...
Yeah, I like that. Let's render that one as well. Then we'll just quickly click down in a bit. Tim says the grade is done. Well, feel free to send me a better version of it because I'll be probably live streaming later in the week, possibly Friday, guys, if you're keen, but that'll be during the day here in Australia. But yeah, Tim, send me a new fresh copy. That'd be great.
It wasn't like she came from a normal family. I mean, the old man was a pisshead. Even before. It wasn't like she came from a normal family. I mean, the old man was a pisshead.
Just need to check that. That sounds like it's gating it a bit.
It wasn't like she came from a normal family. I mean, the old man was a pisshead.
Yeah, he's a bit bouncy.
It wasn't like she came from a normal family. I mean, the old man was a pisshead. Even before it all happened. Or she reported to have happened. And who knows what was happening in that family. Maybe some things that are a bit on the untoward side. But after Martha reported the aliens, her old man really lost it. He just became a complete psych.
Complete psych. That's such a good line.
Her old man really lost it. He just became a complete psych.
Just going to send that back to Isotope because there's a bit of a low rumble.
Her old man really lost it.
I'm going to just put this on attenuation and we're going to... Oh. the stream still going? Oh yeah. Sorry, that's just Windows paused. Whoops. I just need to get rid of some of this low rumbly crap.
Her old man really lost it. Her old man really lost. Her old man really lost. Her old man really lost it.
That sounds a bit better.
Yeah, her old man really lost it. He just became a complete psych. Danger to himself and others. Danger to himself and others. Danger to himself and others.
Yeah, I backed them off. I think it's actually in the recording. It's a bit crunchy.
The aliens. But after Martha reported.
Yeah. All right, let's clean that up. Thanks for keeping me on my toes.
But after.
I don't know if declip's not as good for it's better for digital distortion.
Martha reported But after Martha reported the aliens,
he's just a bit crunchy in there, isn't he?
He just became a complete psych.
Yeah, I will be doing a lot more Fairlight videos down the line.
Danger to himself and others.
In fact, I might even do full courses in Fairlight, but at this stage, I want to work in Pro Tools for this project because it's quicker for me at the moment.
But if you look right back, even when we were kids, we had that sense that Martha wasn't in the same sort of caring environments a lot of us were brought up in. After the allegations were made and it was public in the town, you sort of thought it would probably disappear because, none of me and my...
So we're going to send this lot. Oh, that was my elbow cracking. We're going to go back. We don't need declip again. We're going to go isolate because that's what we did first. So you did a whole new cut of the feature. So I'm working with Visible Studios on this other project called In God's Care. You should definitely look it up. Although I don't know, do you have a website for In God's Care yet, mate? We're doing that, and I will be working the whole thing in Fairlight. So it looks like I'll be... Oh, no, you did a cut, but that's a good thing with Fairlight is it keeps all my changes and all my audio stuff that I did on the I did a bit of a quick pre-edit-y mix thing for a preview. So I'm assuming you got good feedback and you've made the changes that you think needed.
But then...
I'm just going to turn off instant processing by pressing I. I'm going to select some time, learn it, get rid of it.
In the town, you sort of...
Send it back, print it, try this.
After the allegations were made and it was public in the town, you sort of thought it would probably disappear because...
Any questions, guys? Any thoughts? Any recommendations? Am I doing a shitty job?
After the allegations were made and it was public in the town, you sort of thought it would probably disappear because, none of me and my mates or my family thought there was anything in it. But then there started to be these reporters coming down from it's sort of like, what are you doing here? If we ever had news that you were interested in that we wanted to share with the world, you wouldn't have given a rat's. Sorry.
Sorry. Lol.
Sorry.
I haven't got a keyboard with
Sorry.
shortcuts on there, so
Sorry.
clicking around too much. Right, I'm getting back to work. See you on the next stream, hopefully. Thanks, Dialog. Appreciate you being here. Good luck with your words. You're great. Get that T in there. Feedback was positive. That's awesome. All right. So now we just got her audio. So the tape at the end, which doesn't need to be cleaned up really because we want all the hiss and the
really
crap.
Helpful to visualize my experiences in a more positive light, like a fairy tale. That way, I choose how to paint myself. I get to control my story. Well, it was the late 70s. I was in my final year of school. Life was pretty good. You know, things were calm in the house.
I might actually get rid of the reverb a little bit in that
I
though,
found creativity in painting.
because I think it would be beneficial for us to get a nice clean sound for when we put the tape and stuff on it.
I found creativity in painting over the
I'll just check all the cuts
in painting over
and crossfades.
this in a more positive light, like a in a more positive light, like I choose how to paint myself. I choose how to paint myself. I get to control my story. Well, it was the late 70s. Life was pretty good. You know, things were calm in the house for once. It was just after going to bed, sometime before midnight, and something woke me up. It's hard to explain, but everything felt different that night. I was just forced to get up. There was a strange light through the house, so up. There was a strange light through the house, so I went out the back door to the backyard, but there was nothing there. And then my breath went really cold, and it hit me. It floated 100 meters above me, a cigar-shaped object. It was a bright, twinkling, searching light surrounded by these glowing orbs. All of the air sucked out of my body. Felt like I was trying to move underwater. My memories almost choppy and blurry about it.
How good did Carl do on this, mate? It's friggin' beautiful. He shot it so well.
Hear this voice, you know, saying everything will be okay. There wasn't actually words. It was, you know, like I could feel what they wanted to say, but, you know, in a way that I woke up sometime later on a hard surface in the room, something watching me. There
I have to
was
work on that
3 of
plane.
them. They had this.
Wonder if I can
There was 3 of them.
just going to quickly send that to Isotope, see if I can get the plane out.
I woke up sometime later on a hard surface. I could understand. I woke up sometime later on a hard surface.
You know what? I'm going to see if this can do it.
I woke up sometime later on a hard surface. There was a light above me. I woke up sometime later on a hard surface. There was a light above me. After what felt like 10 minutes, I woke up sometime later on a hard. I woke up. I woke up sometime later on a hard surface. I woke up sometime later on a hard surface.
It's not liking that sound, is it?
I woke up sometime later on a hard surface. There was a light above me. After what felt like
Good question. Is there times when you're trying to repair dialogue that you just give up? What kind of problems what kinds of problems just can't be fixed in post? Look, I've had projects where you just have to go as hard as you can, then you mask it with other stuff, sounds, music to kind of make it better. I've done a feature film where they didn't have a sound guy the whole time. It was just friends holding the boom and stuff, and it was awful. Yeah, it's rough. Give me a second.
I woke up sometime later on a hard surface.
So yeah, look, I wouldn't say I just handed the towel. Sometimes you just have to do ADR. There's nothing else you can do about it. But you know, I've never just kind of given up. Really, you can't. Attenuation. Let's go attenuation.
I woke up sometime later on a hard surface.
So what I could try is spectral denoise. So if we go, the pitch changes a little bit, but maybe we can get rid of it enough.
I woke up sometime later on a hard surface. There was a light above me. After I woke up sometime later on a hard surface. There was a light above me. Stand. I woke up sometime later on a hard surface. There was.
This is not great, but there'll be music, I think, behind this anyway. So, and other sounds. So we should be all right to just clean it a little bit.
I woke up sometime later on a hard surface.
Sometimes you just got to do ADR. I tend to just try and mask it in other ways and stuff, as I said. Like, sometimes you just find other sounds and things to kind of mask the fact there's lots of noise, whether you add sound effects in there or you just use music.
I woke up sometime later on a hard surface. I woke up sometime later on a hard. I woke up sometime later on a hard surface. There was a light above me. After what felt like 10 minutes, something watching me. There was 3 of them. They had this shiny thing watching me. There was 3 of them. They had this shiny, greyish, greenish colour and big, large eyes. And then the voice in my head again, this will be over soon. It was real as anything.
This might be kind of sound like it's clipping, but I'm probably going into the master bus pretty hard. Yeah, it looks like I am. This stuff's a bit louder, so I'll back off that a little bit.
It wasn't a dream. I wasn't high like they say. It wasn't a dream. I know what I experienced. And then it was over. Like nothing had happened at all. I was back on a paddock with a flashlight in my face and someone yelling.
Just so you know, if you press G, it'll put the fade to where your mouse is at, so you can just move the fade across. Or if you press so G that way and D the other way, so you can go D that way.
Well, after that, it was never the same again. I wasn't really a normal kid.
Oh, my
Everyone
elbow
would be
keeps
playing
knotting
and
in the
having
pop.
fun, and I just couldn't connect anymore. I basically just felt numb. The word crazy, sure.
Sorry, I should be listening to all
It's
these crossfades to make sure they're all good.
So dismissive.
Apologies
so
for how
lonely.
boring this gets.
Sure. There's not a night that's gone by in all these years that
Oof.
I don't think about it. It's 3 a.m. I'm staring at the ceiling, wondering and kind of hoping it will happen again just to... There's not a night that's gone by in all these years that I don't think about it. It's 3 a.m. I'm staring at the ceiling, wondering and...
I just want to check the actual production.
Confused. Sure. There's not a night that's gone by in all these years that I don't think of. I don't like that word because it's so dismissive.
Oh, they've really treated that.
I don't like that word because it's so dismissive.
If that's how
There's not a
tapey he
night
wants it,
that's
then this
gone
will
by in all these
not matter that
years
there's such
I
a big
don't
change
think
in the
about it.
dialogue. I don't know. It must be a
3
different
a.m.
recording or something.
Staring at the ceiling, wondering and kind of hoping it will happen again just to... Was I confused? Sure. There's not a night that's gone by in all these years that I don't think about it. It's 3 a.m. I'm staring at the ceiling, wondering and... Because it's so dismissive. Was I lonely? Was I hurt? Was I confused? Sure. There's not a night that's gone by in all these... Humans can be cruel. If I could say one thing... There's not a night that's gone by in all these years that I don't think about it. It's 3 a.m. I'm staring at the ceiling, wondering to cement what I know is real.
I might try and get rid of that hiss.
There's not a night that's gone by in all these years that I don't think about it. It's 3 a.m. I'm staring at the ceiling, wondering and kind of hoping it will happen again just to cement what I know is real. It's funny what being ignored for years by people...
Oh,
It's funny what...
reset that.
It's funny what humans can... What I know is real. It's funny what being...
Weird.
It's funny what being ignored for years by people will teach you about people. It's funny what being ignored for years by people will teach you about people.
I'm just going to clean out this hiss a bit so I
There's not
can get a bit
night
more
that's gone by in all these years that I
treble out of
don't
it.
think about it. It's 3 a.m. I'm staring at the ceiling, wondering and... There's not a night that's gone by in all these years that I don't think about it. It's 3 a.m. I'm staring at the ceiling, wondering and... Confused? Sure. There's not a night that's gone by in all these years that I don't think about it. It's 3 a.m. I'm staring at the ceiling, wondering and kind of hoping it will happen again just to cement what I know is real. It's funny what being ignored for years by people will teach you about people. Humans can be cruel. If I could say one thing to the naysayers and gossipers, if I could say one thing to the naysayers...
Just going to get rid of that pop. So I'm just doing a general cleaning out the noise because we're going to then add futz box on it.
Thing to the naysayers. if I could say one thing to the naysayers and gossipers is be kind, that you never truly be kind, that you never truly know what life you never truly know what life that you never truly know what life is like for someone else. Everyone's so divided. You never truly know what life is. You never truly know what life is like for someone else.
I think this needs to be really short.
That you never truly know what life is. That you never truly know. That you never truly know what life is like. That you never truly know. That you never truly know what life is like for someone else. Everyone's so divided with their own ideas at the moment. They forget we're all on this earth for such a fleeting moment together. All we have to do is get along.
And whether they believe her or not,
Oh,
she's still our.
what's that? Beanie Lady.
And whether they believe her or not,
Let's fix
and
this
whether
one
they
up.
believe her or not, she's still our. She's still our Mad Martha. Nobody else's. And whether they believe her or not, she's still our. She's still our Mad Martha. Nobody else's.
Can't remember which one she was. I think she was the
And whether
first
they
one.
believe her or not, she's still our. She's still our Mad Martha. Nobody else's. And whether they believe her or not, she's still our.
I might
still our Mad Martha.
clip gain that down a tad before I process it. Go again.
And whether they believe her or not, she's still our. She's still our Mad Martha.
Bit crunchy.
And whether they believe her or not, she's still our. She's still our Mad Martha. Nobody else's. And whether they believe her or not, she's still our. She's still our Mad Martha. Nobody else's.
Might send it to Isotope, see if I can get it a bit better. So I'm going to press I to turn off instant processing. And
whether they believe her or not,
does sound a bit clippy, doesn't it? Just going to do dialogue isolate as well. I tried the clip as well.
and whether they believe her or not, and whether they believe her or not, she's still our. She's still our Mad Martha. And whether they believe her or not, she's still our. She's still our Mad Martha. Nobody else's.
I think that works better. I'm going to get rid of that little bump. Yeah. Oops.
She's still our Mad Martha. Martha. She's still our Mad Martha. Our Mad Martha. She's still our. She's still our Mad Martha. Nobody else. And whether they believe her or not, she's still our.
Nah, I think that's over processed. Yeah, send that back. Let's go dialogue isolate again. I think I'd rather just be crunchy and not sound a bit gross. Oh, anyone else tired? I'm tired.
And whether they believe her or not, she's still our.
Where are we? Voice denoise.
And whether they believe her or not, she's still our. She's still our Mad Martha.
Render that.
And whether they believe her or not, she's still our. She's still our Mad Martha. Nobody else's. And whether they believe her or not, she's still our Mad Martha. Nobody else's. And whether they believe her or not, she's still our Mad Martha. Nobody else's.
I didn't clean out that little bump the second time round, so I'm going to do that. Send it back to isotope. Put the instant process on.
Mad Martha. She's still our Mad Martha. Nobody else.
Send it back. Render again.
And whether they believe her or not.
All right, so I'm just going to quickly put on a futz box on this for a bit of fun. Finish off. Now, it's meant to be a tape recorder. See if they've got maybe a radio.
In painting over the years, and found it to be really helpful to visualize my experiences in a more positive light, like a fairy tale. That way, I choose how to paint myself. I get to control my story. Well, it was the late 70s. I was in my final year of school. Life was pretty good. Things were calm in the house for once. It was just after going to bed, sometime before midnight, and something woke me up.
Actually, one thing I didn't do. So all this dialogue's now good. So I'm going to send this to isotope.
I found creativity in painting over.
And I'm going to de-reverb the whole lot. Just because I want to get rid of a little bit of that room. And then we're going to put futz back on it. Ugh. 11:26. Been a long session. Oh, but I appreciate you all being here and joining me. Thanks to any newcomers as well. Hope you go back and watch it later if you didn't finish.
I found creativity in painting.
Might yeah, I might isolate. Well, just a smidgy. Sent you an expert. Thank you. I'm assuming that's what the email was. Bing. Bing. Oh. Oh. I need YouTube stats, mate. Oh, that's done. All right. No, it's not. Wonder if YouTube does do stats. Thanks, Tim, for sending that through. I look forward to sharing the new grade with everybody. Let's get this done first. You're welcome, ZZ. Thanks for sticking around so long.
I found creativity.
Send that back. Render.
I found creativity in painting over the years and found it to be really helpful to visualize my experiences in a more positive light, like a fairy tale. That way, I choose how to paint myself. I get to control my story. Well, it was the late 70s. I was in my final year of school. Life was pretty good. things were calm in the house for once. It was just after going to bed, sometime before midnight, and something woke me up. It's hard to explain, but everything felt different that night. I was just forced to get up. There was a strange light through the house, so I went out the back door to the backyard, but there was nothing there. And then a feeling of energy in the ground. My breath went really cold and it hit me. It floated 100 meters above me, a cigar-shaped object. It was a bright, twinkling, searching light surrounded by these glowing orbs. All of the air sucked out of my body. Felt like I was trying to move underwater.
If I'm going to do something like this,
Almost choppy and blurry
Futz
about it.
Box is so good. I'm thinking if I'm going to use this though, I probably should use Soothe or something to soften it up a bit.
Hear this voice, saying everything will be okay. There wasn't actually words. It was, like I could feel what they wanted to say, but, in a way that I could understand. I woke up sometime later on a hard surface. There was a light. Really a normal kid. Everyone would be playing and having fun, and I just couldn't connect anymore. I basically just felt numb. The word crazy got thrown around a lot, and I really don't like that word because it's so dismissive. Was I lonely? Was I hurt? Was I confused? Sure. There's not a night that's gone by in all these years that I don't think about it. It's 3 a.m. I'm staring at the ceiling, wondering and kind of hoping it will happen again just to cement what I know is real. It's funny what being ignored for years by people will teach you about people. Humans can be cruel. If I could say one thing to the naysayers and gossipers is be kind, that you never truly know what life is like for someone else. Everyone's so divided with their own ideas at the moment, they forget we're all on this earth for such a fleeting moment together. All we have to do is get along.
And whether they believe her or not.
Really a normal kid. Everyone would be playing and having fun, and I just couldn't connect anymore. I basically just felt numb. The word crazy got thrown around a lot. And
All right, let's just quickly bring in all our other channels. Box needs to eventually turn off that noise.
I found creativity underwater. My memory's almost choppy and blurry about it.
What do you think about that sound?
I choose how to paint myself. I get to control my story. Well, it was
Might just save that.
the late 70s.
I'll have a crack, see what else we can pull.
I choose how to paint myself. I get to control my story. Well, it was the late 70s. I was in my final year of school. Life was pretty good. Things were calm in the house for once. It was just after going to bed, sometime before midnight, and something woke me up. It's hard to explain, but everything felt different that night. I was just forced to get up. There was a strange light through the house, So
I don't want it to be too thin. I still want it to
I went out the back door.
kind of have a cool vibe about it.
But there was nothing there. And then a feeling of energy in the ground. My breath went really cold and it hit me.
I just don't want it to be too harsh and bad because there's so much of it too.
A cigar shaped object. It was a bright, twinkling, searching light surrounded by these glowing orbs. All of the air sucked out of my body.
Because I might get a tape sound, like a tape running,
My memories,
which they've already got a bit at the start, but I might add that in as well.
I could hear this voice, saying everything will be okay. There wasn't actually words. It was, like I could feel.
I'm going to put the hold and release on really long so that you don't lose it too much in this gap.
Almost choppy and blurry about it. I could hear this voice, saying everything will be okay. There wasn't actually words. It was, like I could feel what they wanted to say, but, in a way that I could understand.
Might even chuck clarity on there first and see.
On a hard surface.
Just go the basic model.
There was a light above me. After what felt like 10 minutes, I got the sense that there was something else in the room.
No, it's not doing anything. I wanted to get rid of some of the reverb, but it's not.
There was 3 of them. They had this shiny, greyish, greenish colour.
I know de-reverb sucks for
in my head again.
Yeah.
This will be over.
Sorry, I'm just trying de-reverb, even though it's not de-voice one.
Real as anything. It wasn't a dream. I wasn't high like they say. I know what I saw. I know what I experienced. And then it was over. Like nothing had happened at all. I was back on a paddock with a
Actually, don't mind
flashlight in
that.
my face and someone yelling. Well, after that, it was never the same again. I wasn't really a normal kid. Everyone would be playing and having fun, and I just couldn't connect anymore. I basically just felt numb.
I like that.
The word crazy got thrown around a lot, and I really don't like that word because it's so dismissive. Was I lonely?
So I'm just going to put some reverb on this one now.
Confused? Sure. There's not a night that's gone by in all these years that I don't think about it. It's 3 a.m. I'm staring at the ceiling, wondering, and...
Sounds good. All right. I'm not going to play through it all again. I think it's all good. Excuse me for a minute. Yeah. Well, it's good to be back, to be honest. I'm really pumped. Really vibing being here. Thank you so much to everyone. Thanks, Sam, for sticking around the whole time. I think you had the first comment, and at the moment you've got the last comment, so good on you. Thanks, Tim, for joining us. ZZ, Legend, Diamond District Studios, all of you. Can't mention everyone on here because surprisingly I had a fair few people, which I'm really happy about for the first stream. So there's a good chance I'll do another night this week. Maybe on Wednesday. Oh, that's tomorrow night. Possibly tomorrow night. If not, it'll be Friday, and I've got to finish this thing off. So it'll be a bunch of adding sound effects in there and then mixing it with the music. But honestly, the dialogue is the most time-consuming part of, I think, this documentary, because they've obviously got good music tracks that we just need to blend them all together with a dialogue. Johnny, hey mate, have you been here for a while? Anyway. Look, it's been a lovely time, and I cannot wait to be doing more of these, particularly with the studio setup. I'll do some videos on the studio, and I'll be producing more content once the studio is done. But for now, thank you. Excuse me. Thank you so much for joining me. Please tell your friends, like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. But let me know also if you think if I started a Patreon or something or one of those things, whether you'd be interested in supporting me. The other thing is, if you're going to buy any plugins and stuff, please use links in my descriptions, and I'll do a better job of making sure that there's a bunch of links there for all the plugins that I have used today. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. See you guys.